What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel Journey with G Poppy. Today I wanted to look into the the book of First Thessalonians in the New Testament. So the Apostle Paul wrote this letter to the church in Thessalonica, and the main theme of this book is the removal of the church from the earth. So that's an event that I've talked about on other videos that we refer to as the Rapture. And the word rapture is not in the New Testament, but the phrase caught up is found later in this book in chapter 4. So I wanted to focus in on chapter 1, verses 9 and 10. And Paul writes, so by the way, the city of Thessalonica was a very wicked city, and it was steeped in idol worship. In fact, they had temples in the city where they worshiped idols, and they had prostitution right in the temples and all kinds of very odd practices that went on in that city. So Paul set up a church in that city, shared the gospel and discipled some believers there, and started a church. So to this church he wrote, "For they themselves declare concerning us what manner of entry we had to you, and how you turned to God from idols to serve the living and true God, and to wait for his Son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, even Jesus, who delivers us from the wrath to come." And so that last phrase, he delivers us from the wrath to come. So in an earlier video, I talked about the book of Revelation. So the wrath of God is literally poured out on the earth in the latter part of the 7-year tribulation. So, the event we call the rapture is where God is going to deliver the church from the earth, so they won't be here during this time, the wrath to come. So anyway, and so if you're searching and you're wondering, how can I avoid going through this awful time, the 7-year tribulation at the end of time. And at the end of that 7 years, many nations are going to circle the nation of Israel and attack it. And then God's going to wipe out those armies of the world that are going to attack Israel as well. But anyway, so if you want to know how you can avoid all of this turmoil and all this wrath and all this disaster and have a home in heaven for eternity, it's simply by placing faith in Christ. As mentioned, Paul wrote, God raised him from the dead, and he delivers us from the wrath to come. So all you have to do is simply place your faith in Christ, and you will be saved from this wrath to come. It's by grace through faith alone, in Christ alone, that you can be saved. And you don't have to understand everything there is to know about it. You simply need to realize, first of all, you're a sinner and call out to God. Because if you don't realize that you're a sinner, which it's pretty easy to realize we're all sinners, because even from an early age, you never had to teach a child to say no or to disobey. It's just an automatic thing because we're all born sinners. So that's why Christ died on the cross, because none of us could be good enough to get to heaven. So by placing faith in Christ, you can be saved from the wrath to come. And so this is good news. And I hope you take this seriously and give it some consideration. And I hope you have a great day. God bless you.